Welcome to Discover Your Dreams. Today, we're diving into a topic that touches the heart of so many people between the ages of 45 and 55, a time often called midlife. For some, this stage feels like a crisis. For others, it feels like an ending. But I want to suggest something different. What if midlife is not a crisis or ending at all, but rather a doorway into possibility? At this stage of life, many of us stop and ask, is this all there is? Or is there something more waiting for me? The kids may be grown, a career that once felt exciting might now feel routine. Our bodies may be different from what we remember. Relationships may be changing. And for some, the dreams that once felt so vivid in youth have been quietly pushed aside for responsibilities, family, and survival. But here's the beautiful truth. Life is not winding down. It's inviting you to wake up. And that's where the teachings of Neville Goddard come in. If you're not familiar with Neville, he was a spiritual teacher who taught something incredibly powerful. Your imagination is God within you. Let that sink in for a moment. The ideas you entertain, the pictures you hold in your mind, the conversations you repeat in your heart, they are not just daydreams. They are the seeds of your reality. This means that right now, at midlife, you are not stuck. You are not too old. You have not missed your chance. In fact, you are in the perfect position to dream again, because now you bring wisdom, experience, and perspective that your younger self never had. So in today's episode, we'll be exploring the power of imagination after 45, how to use Neville Goddard's timeless teachings to reshape your life, renew your purpose, and awaken dreams you may have forgotten along the way. Whether you're a woman navigating menopause, a man reevaluating your career or identity, or simply someone who feels a nudge inside that says, "There's more for me," this message is for you. Together, we'll uncover why midlife is a sacred turning point, the core principles Neville taught about imagination and creation, how to heal past regrets and step into renewal, practical tools you can use daily to reawaken your dreams, and real-life inspirations of people who bloomed in the second half of life. By the end of this video, my hope is that you will no longer see midlife as a time of endings, but as a time of beginnings, because your imagination is not limited by age, circumstance, or past mistakes. It is as fresh, as alive, and as powerful as ever. So take a deep breath, release that belief that your best years are behind you, and get ready to rediscover the extraordinary, creative force that has been within you all along. Let's begin. When most people think of midlife, the first phrase that often comes to mind is midlife crisis. The picture that society paints is almost comical. A man buying a sports car, a woman making drastic changes to her appearance, or someone suddenly uprooting their life in the search for something they can't quite name. But let's step back and look at what's really happening during these years of 45 to 55. This season of life brings natural shifts. For many, children leave home, and what was once the center of their identity, the role of parent, begins to change. For others, careers that once brought excitement may now feel repetitive or unfulfilling. Some may look at their marriages or relationships and wonder if they've been living authentically or simply going through the motions. And then, of course, there are the physical changes, whether it's menopause for women or the subtle but undeniable awareness for men that the body no longer feels quite the same as it did at 25. All of these shifts can create an unsettling question. Who am I now? It's easy to see why society labels this a crisis. But what if we reframed it? What if instead of a midlife crisis, we saw this stage as a midlife awakening? Because here's the truth. Every transition in life carries with it the seeds of transformation. When life strips away old roles, identities, and routines, it's not trying to punish you. It's inviting you to look deeper, to reevaluate, and to consciously choose the next chapter. Neville Goddard taught that the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state of consciousness. In other words, what you believe to be true about yourself and life is constantly shaping your reality. So if you see midlife as a decline, if you tell yourself it's too late, I'm too old, or my best days are behind me, then your outer world will faithfully reflect that assumption. You'll feel stuck, invisible, or uninspired. But if you shift your state of consciousness, if you dare to assume that midlife is a time of renewal, of possibility, of deeper wisdom and freedom, then your outer world will begin to reflect that too. You will naturally start to see opportunities, ideas, and possibilities that align with your new inner state. This is why Neville placed so much importance on imagination, because imagination is not just daydreaming, it's the act of planting seeds into your subconscious mind, and what you plant there, you eventually harvest in your life. Think of midlife as standing at a crossroads. One path is the well-worn road of resignation. This is who I am. This is all I get. It's too late to change. The other path is the road of imagination. I am free to create, to dream, and to design a life that excites me, starting now. Which path you take depends entirely on the state you occupy. Neville once said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." That's the invitation of midlife, to change the conception of yourself, not as someone winding down, but as someone waking up. And here's something powerful to consider. When you were in your 20s, you may have had big dreams, but you also had a lot of uncertainty. You didn't yet have the wisdom, the experience, or the resilience that life has given you now. In midlife, you're not starting over with nothing. You're starting over with everything you've learned. That makes this stage incredibly potent. So instead of asking, who am I now that my old roles are changing, a more empowering question might be, who do I want to become now that I have the freedom to choose? This is where imagination becomes a sacred tool. If you can see it in your mind, if you can feel it as though it is already real, then you can begin to occupy that state. And once you occupy that state, life will reflect it back to you in ways that may surprise you. Midlife is not a crisis. It's a sacred crossroads, a chance to consciously step into the life you truly desire, guided not by fear or regret, but by imagination and assumption. Now that we've reframed midlife as a sacred crossroads, let's dive into the foundation that can help us navigate the stage with confidence and creativity through Neville Goddard's teachings. Neville was a mystic and teacher who spoke often about the law of assumption, the idea that what you assume to be true about yourself and your world is exactly what will play out in your life. He was very clear on this. Your imagination is not just a tool, it is the creative power of God operating within you. At its heart, the law of assumption says, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and your assumption will harden into fact. This means that if you want to change your life, you don't start by trying to manipulate outer circumstances. You don't wait for someone to give you permission, or for the right time to come along. You start by assuming a new state of being within yourself. For example, if you've been telling yourself, I'm too old to start over, my body isn't strong anymore, nobody cares what I have to say, then those assumptions will continue to shape your reality. But if instead you begin to assume, I am entering the most creative and fulfilling stage of my life, I am vibrant, healthy, and full of energy, my voice and my presence matter deeply, then those assumptions, when held consistently, will begin to manifest in incredible ways. It doesn't happen by force, it happens naturally, because your outer world is simply a mirror of your inner state. Another one of Neville's central teachings is what he called living in the end. This practice asks you to imagine what it would feel like if your desire were already fulfilled. Not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. So let's say you dream of starting a new business, traveling the world, or writing a book. Instead of imagining the struggle of getting there, worrying about money, time, or obstacles, you drop straight into the feeling of already having accomplished it. You ask yourself, what would I feel if this were already true? How would I walk? How would I talk? How would I see myself? And then you live from that place. This is not about pretending or faking it. It's about stepping into a new identity. Everything begins with your concept of self. So when you live in the end, you're not chasing your dream, you're embodying it right now, and you're world begins to align with that state of consciousness. Imagine how powerful this is at midlife. Instead of saying, I wish I could have the freedom to do what I love, you begin to imagine and feel what it's like to already have that freedom. Instead of saying, it's too late to reinvent myself, you embody the feeling of being someone who is already living with purpose and passion. And little by little, your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner conviction. Neville also emphasized the importance of inner conversations. These are the silent dialogues you have with yourself throughout the day. And let's be honest, in midlife, those inner conversations can often be critical or limiting. You might catch yourself saying, I should have done more with my life. I'm running out of time. People younger than me are already ahead. These inner conversations are creative acts. Every time you replay an old regret, you are reinforcing that state. Every time you assume decline or limitation, you are energizing it with your imagination. The good news is, you can change your inner conversations. You can begin to speak to yourself in ways that affirm your worth, your possibilities, and your dreams. You can create new mental dialogues where you hear others congratulating you, supporting you, or celebrating your success. And over time, these new inner conversations become your dominant state, and your outer world reflects them back to you. Some people may think imagination is only for the young, that by midlife your path is already set. But the opposite is true. At 45, 50, or 55, you are at a point where you've lived enough life to know what doesn't work, and you've gained the resilience to handle challenges. This means that when you apply Neville's teachings now, you bring to them a depth of wisdom and focus that your younger self did not yet have. You're not chasing fantasy, you're aligning with true desire. You're not naively hoping for change, you're consciously choosing it. Neville often said, dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. Midlife is your invitation to dare again, to believe, to imagine, and to step into a new state of being. So as we move forward, I want you to start asking yourself, what assumptions am I living from right now? Are they keeping me stuck in fear, regret, or limitation? Or are they lifting me into renewal, freedom, and possibility? Because whichever assumptions you hold, they are shaping your life. And the beautiful truth is, you can change them anytime you choose. One of the biggest challenges people face in midlife isn't just the changes happening around them, it's the weight of the past. Maybe you look back and wish you had chosen a different career. Maybe you regret not pursuing a dream when you were younger. Maybe there are relationships you feel unfinished, or times when you didn't speak up, didn't follow through, or didn't believe in yourself. These regrets can become heavy, and they often whisper the same lie, it's too late. But there is a powerful way to heal the past and free yourself for the future. It's called the technique of revision. Revision is the practice of going back in your imagination to a moment that still troubles you and rewriting it. Instead of replaying the old story of failure, rejection, or regret, you create a new memory in your imagination where the outcome is different. For example, let's say you still carry the sting of not getting the job you once wanted. Instead of replaying the disappointment, you close your eyes and imagine yourself receiving the job offer, shaking hands and feeling proud. You let yourself feel the satisfaction of that moment until it seems real. Or perhaps there's a conversation you wish had gone differently, something you wish you had said or done. In revision, you recreate the scene in your mind. You imagine the words being spoken with clarity, the response being kind, and the outcome leaving you peaceful instead of wounded. The subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between memory and imagination. So when you revise the past in your imagination, you begin to free yourself from the emotional grip of old experiences. And once you free yourself from the weight of the past, you have more energy to imagine a vibrant future. This is incredibly powerful at midlife, because by this stage, most people are carrying decades of old stories. Revision allows you to let them go, not by denying them, but by transforming them. Another area where imagination is deeply renewing at this stage of life is in your health. It's no secret that midlife brings physical changes. Our bodies don't recover as quickly, hormones shift, and energy may feel different. But what if you didn't see these changes as decline, but as an opportunity to consciously reimagine your relationship with your body? I encourage you to see yourself already being the person you wish to be. So instead of saying, I'm tired, I'm slowing down, you imagine yourself as vibrant, active, and full of life. You picture yourself hiking, dancing, laughing, moving with energy. You feel that vitality in your imagination until it begins to feel natural. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing a new inner reality that your body can begin to align with. Countless people have used imagination to improve their health, increase energy, and even recover from illness, because the mind and body are deeply connected. For many, midlife is also the moment when creativity calls again. Maybe you once loved painting, writing, playing music, or traveling, but you set it aside for responsibilities. Imagination is the bridge back to those passions. Close your eyes and imagine yourself creating again. Imagine the brush in your hand, the words flowing onto the page, the joy of exploring somewhere new. Let yourself feel the aliveness of those moments. The more real you allow them to be in your imagination, the more natural it becomes to find space for them in your daily life. And then there are relationships. By midlife, some relationships feel steady and secure, while others feel strained and unfulfilled. Here, too, imagination offers renewal. Instead of focusing only on the flaws or disappointments, you can begin to imagine the relationship as you wish it to be. Imagine conversations filled with love and understanding. Imagine laughter returning to your home. Imagine yourself being heard, valued, and cherished. Now, this doesn't mean you control another person. What it does mean is that you change your inner state, and often that shift changes the way you show up in the relationship. Sometimes the other person naturally responds differently. Other times, your clarity helps you see whether the relationship still belongs in your life. Either way, you move forward, empowered, not stuck. Let's try a simple renewal practice you can begin today. Close your eyes and bring to mind an area of life that feels heavy, whether it's health, a regret, or a relationship. Notice the old story you've been carrying. Acknowledge it without judgment. Now, revise the story. Imagine a different outcome. See yourself healthy, free, empowered, or loved. Feel it fully. Let your body respond as though it's real. Smile. Breathe deeper. Feel the relief. Rest in that new state. Carry it with you as though it's already your reality. When practiced consistently, this kind of renewal through imagination can transform the way you feel about yourself and your life. It's not about erasing the past, it's about rewriting your relationship to it, so you can step into the future lighter, freer, and more inspired. Because the truth is, midlife is not about decline, it's about renewal, and your imagination is the key to that renewal. By now you can see how powerful imagination is, not just as a concept, but as a force you can use to reshape your life. The question is, how do you actually put this into practice? Neville Goddard gave us many techniques, but at their core they all come down to this: assume the state of the wish fulfilled and live from it. Let's walk through some practical ways to do that, especially for those of us in the 45 to 55 stage of life who are ready to dream again. Visualization is one of the simplest and most powerful tools you can use. Think of it as creating a mental movie of the life you want to live. Start by asking yourself, what is one dream I want to rekindle? Maybe it's starting a new business, exploring new places, building deeper relationships, or rediscovering creativity. Now, instead of imagining the struggle of getting there, imagine yourself already living it. If your dream is to travel, don't imagine the packing or the airports. Imagine yourself walking through the streets of Rome, feeling the cobblestones beneath your feet, tasting the gelato. If your dream is to start a business, imagine yourself already successful, signing contracts, hearing people thank you for your service, feeling proud of your work. The key is to make it vivid. Use your senses. Ask yourself, what would I see, hear, touch, taste, and feel if it were already real? Then replay this inner movie often, especially before bed when your subconscious is most open. Scripting is another powerful practice that Neville's students often use. It's the act of writing in a journal as though your desired life is already happening. Instead of writing, I want to start a new career, you write, I love my new career. Every morning I wake up excited to begin the day. My clients are amazing, my work is fulfilling, and I feel proud of the impact I'm making. When you write in the present tense, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as true. And the more you write, the more natural it feels. Over time, you begin to embody this new state, and life starts to reflect it back to you. Try setting aside 10 minutes each morning to script your dream life. Don't worry about how it will happen, just focus on how it feels to live it. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Your inner conversations are creating your world. Notice the way you speak to yourself throughout the day. If you catch yourself saying, "I'm too old," or "it's too late," pause and choose a new conversation. Imagine a trusted friend encouraging you. Imagine someone congratulating you on your success. Begin to hear these supportive voices in your mind until they drown out the old limiting ones. For example, instead of thinking, "No one cares what I have to say," you might begin to imagine someone saying, "Your story changed my life. Thank you for sharing it." That inner dialogue will eventually shape how you see yourself and how others see you too. Another practical tool is mirror work. Stand in front of the mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak affirmations that align with the life you want to live. For instance, say, "I am vibrant, creative, and full of energy. I am entering the most fulfilling chapter of my life. My dreams matter, and I'm living them now." It may feel awkward at first, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Remember, Neville taught that your concept of self is the foundation of everything. Mirror work helps you shift that concept at the deepest level. Throughout the day, practice state shifting. Whenever you feel stuck, tired, or uninspired, pause and ask yourself, what state do I want to be in right now? If you're feeling overwhelmed, close your eyes and imagine yourself calm and centered. If you're feeling discouraged, imagine yourself confident and energized. It only takes a minute or two, but these little shifts add up over time. Let's bring this to life with some examples. A woman at 52 who always dreamed of painting begins visualizing herself as an artist. She imagines her work hanging in a gallery, people admiring her creations. Within a year, she starts painting again and eventually has her first show. A man at 48 who feels stuck in his corporate job begins scripting a life where he's running his own woodworking business. He writes about the smell of sawdust, the satisfaction of building, the joy of customers appreciating his work. Within 2 years, he transitions to a thriving custom furniture business. A couple in their 50s who felt distant in their marriage begin revising their inner conversations. They imagine themselves laughing together again, traveling, holding hands. Slowly, their outer relationship shifts, and they fall back in love with each other. These are not just nice stories. They're natural outcomes of using imagination, as Neville taught. To make this practical, here's a daily routine you can try. In the morning, spend 5 to 10 minutes scripting your dream life in your journal. In the afternoon, pause once or twice during the day for state shifting. Imagine yourself already living the life you desire. And in the evening before bed, visualize one scene that implies your dream is already real. Replay it until you drift off to sleep. If you do this consistently, you'll be amazed how quickly your inner world begins to shift and how your outer world will follow. Midlife is the perfect time to use these tools because you've lived enough to know what truly matters, and you now have the wisdom to create with intention. By practicing visualization, scripting, inner conversations, mirror work, and daily state shifting, you can reawaken dreams you thought were lost and rediscover new ones that surprise and delight you. When you're in the 45 to 55 stage of life, it's easy to believe the biggest opportunities are behind you. Society tells us midlife is about winding down, settling, or accepting limits, but nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, some of the world's most inspiring success stories happened because people hit midlife, reevaluated their direction, and chose to pursue a dream they had been carrying for years. Let's explore some real-life examples of late bloomers, both famous and everyday, who show us midlife is not the end, but a powerful new beginning. Vera Wang. Today, she's a household name in fashion, but Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40. Before that, she was a competitive figure skater and later worked as an editor. At midlife, she used her imagination to create a new vision for herself. Now she's one of the most iconic designers in the world. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman's career didn't take off until he was 50. Before that, he was in the military and then a struggling actor, getting only small roles. And now he's so popular, you only need to hear his voice to recognize him. And Julia Child. Julia didn't publish her first cookbook until she was 50. Before then, she was unsure of her direction in life. Once she tapped into her passion for food, she completely transformed not only her own life, but also American cooking. Each of these examples reflects Neville Goddard's principle: when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, life begins to rearrange itself to match. Beyond celebrities, there are countless everyday people who have reshaped their lives after 45. A 54-year-old nurse who always dreamed of writing novels began dedicating 30 minutes a day to writing. Within 2 years, she published her first book and now runs a small but successful publishing business. A 49-year-old father of 3 who always wanted to run marathons imagined himself crossing the finish line. After 2 years of training and shifting his self-image from out of shape to athlete, he completed his first marathon and continues to run today. A couple in their late 40s who dreamed of living abroad began visualizing their life in Portugal, walking the markets, sipping coffee by the sea. Within 5 years, they made the move and built a new chapter of their story. These are people just like you and me. The only difference is they chose to imagine a new reality instead of accepting the old one they had. Why do these stories matter? Stories give us proof. They remind us that dreams don't have expiration dates. At 45, 50, or 55, you have more life experience, resilience, and wisdom than you did at 20 or 30. You're not starting over, you're starting from experience, and that's powerful. Neville often said, "Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live." Every one of these individuals began by changing their inner picture of who they were and what they were capable of. It's not enough to just be inspired. You want to let these stories fuel your own imagination, and here's how. Pick one story that resonates with you. Ask yourself, what do I have in common with this person? Maybe it's age, circumstances, or a long-forgotten dream. Now visualize your own version. Imagine yourself stepping into their shoes, not copying their dream, but creating your own version. Make it feel normal. The more you see yourself in their story, the more normal it feels to step into your own. For example, if Julia Child could start a whole new career at 50, why couldn't you launch that business, pick up that guitar, or go back to school? One of the gifts of midlife is clarity. In your 20s and 30s, you may have been chasing dreams that weren't even yours, dreams shaped by a family, society, or survival needs. But at 45 to 50, something shifts. You start asking, what do I really want? What is my life truly about? That's not a crisis, it's a compass. It's pointing you back to yourself, to the dreams that never left, only waited. When you combine that clarity with Neville's teachings, the power of imagination, the ability to revise, the practice of living from the wish fulfilled, you have a recipe for transformation. I want you to pause for a moment and think of one dream you've pushed aside. Maybe it's something you wanted in your 20s, or maybe it's something that only recently came alive to you. Close your eyes and imagine yourself, not as someone too old or too late, but as someone standing right on time. Imagine yourself stepping into your dream the way Vera Wang did, the way Julia Child did, and the way everyday people around the world are doing right now. Because here's the truth. Midlife isn't the closing chapter. It's the preface to something extraordinary, and you are the author. If you've ever tried to dream big at midlife, you know the resistance shows up quickly. That little voice says things like, "You're too old to start over. What if you fail? People will laugh at you. It's too late." Sound familiar? You're not alone. Every person who has reinvented themselves at this stage of life has heard those voices. The difference is, they didn't stop there. They learned to overcome resistance by reshaping their inner world. Neville Goddard taught that doubt and fear don't come from the outside. They come from self-concept you've accepted. Change that self-concept, and resistance begins to lose its grip. Resistance shows up for 2 main reasons. The first, old programming. For decades, you've been telling yourself stories about who you are. Those stories became comfortable, even if they were limiting. When you try to step into a new story, the old one fights back. And the other is the fear of the unknown. The mind loves certainty. Even if the current reality is unfulfilling, at least it's familiar. Resistance often arises simply because your dream feels unfamiliar, and the brain confuses new with danger. But here's the truth. Resistance doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're on the edge of transformation. Neville didn't believe you had to fight resistance directly. Instead, he taught that you shift your attention to the new state you want to embody. The more you dwell there, the weaker doubt becomes. Here are some of his most powerful techniques to help you move through resistance. One of Neville's signature tools is revision, the practice of mentally rewriting past experiences. If your resistance is tied to old failures or regrets, revision is a game changer. For example, if you once tried a business and it didn't work out, instead of reliving the failure, imagine that it was a stepping stone that led you to wisdom and clarity. Replay the scene as successful, or imagine yourself looking back with gratitude. The subconscious doesn't know the difference between real memory and revised memory. It only responds to the state you accept now. Instead of wrestling with doubts like, can I really do this? Shift your attention to the end result. If your dream is to write a book, don't focus on the writing process. Imagine the book already in your hands, published and complete. By living in the end, you bypass the how and anchor yourself in the reality of already done. Resistance loses its power when you stop arguing with the present and start embodying the future. One of the sneakiest sources of resistance is the belief that your dream is too big or too unusual for someone like you. Neville encouraged us to normalize our desires. If you want to travel the world, imagine it as the most natural thing. If you want to start a new career, see yourself as someone who naturally thrives in that role. The more normal it feels in your imagination, the easier it is to become in reality. Now let's get very specific about the doubts that often arise between ages 45 and 55, and how you can shift them using Neville's methods. Doubt 1. I'm too old. This is one of the most common blocks. The truth? You're not too old. You're seasoned. You've got the wisdom, perspective, and resilience younger dreamers don't. Try this. Each time you catch yourself thinking, I'm too old, replace it with, I'm right on time. Then imagine yourself thriving at your dream, not as someone making up for lost time, but as someone perfectly aligned with the present moment. Doubt 2. What if I fail? Failure is just feedback, not a final verdict. And Neville would remind you, in imagination, you cannot fail. Try this. Instead of imagining failure, imagine the moment after success. See yourself smiling, celebrating, or hearing someone congratulate you. The more you replay that, the less energy failure has. Doubt 3. People will judge me. Fear of judgment can be paralyzing, but here's the secret. People are too focused on their own lives to spend much energy judging yours. And those who do, their opinions aren't shaping your reality. Your imagination is. Try this. Imagine the people around you celebrating your success. Hear them saying, I'm so proud of you, or I knew you could do it. Your subconscious will accept this version and it will begin to reflect outward. Doubt 4. It's too late. This belief is like quicksand. It keeps you stuck in regret instead of possibility. But think about it. If Julia Child could publish her first cookbook at 50, how can it possibly be too late at 45 or 55? Try this. Revise your timeline. Instead of seeing yourself as late, imagine your dream arriving exactly on schedule. Visualize yourself saying, I'm so glad I started now. This is the perfect moment. Here's something important. Resistance isn't just an obstacle. It's a teacher. Every time doubt arises, it's showing you where your self-concept needs to shift. If you feel too old, it's pointing to the story you've believed about aging. If you fear failure, it's pointing to the story you've believed about success. If you worry about judgment, it's pointing to the story you've believed about your worth. When you meet resistance with awareness, it becomes an invitation to rewrite your inner story. Imagine this. Instead of seeing doubt as a stop sign, you see it as fuel. Every time resistance whispers you can't, you reply with imagination, but I already am. Neville often said, your assumptions, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Doubt only becomes real if you persist in it. But if you persist in your new assumption, your dream already fulfilled, it too will harden into fact. You don't have to eliminate all doubt before you move forward. You just have to stop letting it run the show. When doubt shows up, smile and say, thank you for reminding me that I'm stepping into something new. but my imagination is stronger than you. Midlife isn't a wall, it's a doorway. Resistance is just the guard at the gate, testing if you're serious. Walk through with imagination and the gate will open. We've explored the power of imagination, looked at inspiring examples, and learned how to move through resistance. Now it's time to bring it all together. This is where you create your midlife vision statement, a personal declaration that captures who you are becoming and what you are creating in this next chapter of life. A vision statement acts like a compass. In the moments when doubt, busyness, or distractions creep in, it reminds you of the bigger picture. It's not just a list of goals, it's a vivid declaration of your new self-concept. Neville Goddard taught that what you believe yourself to be shapes everything you experience. By crafting your vision statement, you are literally reprogramming your identity. Before you can write your vision, you need clarity. Ask yourself, what dream is rising in me now? What do I want this chapter of my life to look like? How do I want to feel every day? Don't overthink this. Write down whatever comes to you. Maybe it's starting a new career, deepening relationships, traveling, creating art, or simply living with more peace. Neville always emphasized the importance of living in the end. So when you write your vision statement, don't write it as something you hope for. Write it as if it is already true. For example, instead of writing, I want to feel more confident and creative, you write, I am confident, creative, and excited about the life I am building. The more vivid your vision, the more powerful it becomes. Ask yourself, what does my dream life look like? What sounds fill my days? What scents, tastes, or textures surround me? For instance, if your dream is to move to the countryside, you must write, each morning I wake up to the sound of birds outside my window, the smell of fresh air, and the feeling of peace as I sip my coffee on the porch of my farmhouse. Your vision statement isn't just about what you're doing, it's about who you are. Neville taught that your self-concept is everything. Ask yourself, who am I in this new chapter? Maybe your answer is, I am an inspired creator. I am a bold explorer. I am a loving, present parent. I am a thriving entrepreneur. Add these affirmations into your vision so it becomes an expression of your new identity. Your vision statement doesn't need to be long. It should be simple enough that you can read it often and feel its truth. 2 or 3 powerful paragraphs are enough. But here's the key. Keep it alive. Read it daily. Speak it out loud. Sit quietly and imagine yourself living it. This is not just words on paper. It's a living blueprint of your future. Here are a few examples to inspire you. For someone rediscovering creativity, I am an artist. My days are filled with creative joy and expression. I paint with freedom and confidence, and my work touches the hearts of others. I live a life of beauty, inspiration, and purpose. For someone starting a new career, I am thriving in my new business. Each day I serve people with passion and skill. My work is fulfilling, prosperous, and impactful. I am confident, energized, and proud of the life I have created. For someone seeking more peace and balance, I live a life of calm and joy. My home is peaceful, my relationships are loving, and my days flow with ease. I feel connected to myself and the world around me. I am grateful for this chapter of peace and abundance. Let's do this together right now. Find a quiet space. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Imagine your life 5 years from now. Picture yourself living your dream. Where are you? What are you doing? Who is with you? Notice the feelings. Do you feel joyful, confident, peaceful, excited? Anchor onto those emotions. Now write it down. Begin with the words, I am, and let the rest flow. Don't censor yourself, just write what feels alive. When you're done, read it aloud. Feel the truth of it. This is your midlife vision statement, the declaration of who you are becoming. Every morning, read your vision statement as soon as you wake up. Imagine yourself already living it. Then in the evening before bed, replay one scene from your vision as if it was already real. And anytime you have moments of doubt, pull out your vision and remind yourself, this is who I am. The more you dwell in your vision, the faster it hardens into fact. Crafting your midlife vision statement is not about predicting the future. It's about creating it. Neville said, "Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment." When you dare to put your dream in writing, to declare it as real, you set into motion forces that will align your outer life with your inner vision. This is your invitation to step fully into the life you've been imagining, not someday, but now. Even the most powerful imagination and the clearest vision statement can falter if you try to walk this journey alone. Human beings are wired for connection, and community plays a vital role in helping us step into our dreams, especially during midlife. Neville Goddard emphasized the internal world as the source of creation, but he also recognized that our outer environment reflects our inner state. That means the people you spend time with, your friends, family, colleagues, they serve as mirrors to the assumptions you hold about yourself. During midlife, many people notice a shift in their relationships. Children grow up and move out. Long-term friendships may drift, and colleagues or social circles may no longer resonate with your evolving identity. This natural transition can feel isolating, but it's also an opportunity. Surrounding yourself with supportive, like-minded people can reinforce your new concept. When you imagine yourself thriving, people who encourage you help solidify that identity. Providing accountability, sharing goals or dreams with others can help keep you on track. Offer perspective and inspiration. Learning from those who have reinvented themselves at midlife can fuel your own imagination and courage. Holding space for growth. Healthy communities allow you to explore new identities safely, without judgment or criticism. Not all connections are equal. Some people lift you up, others subtly reinforce old limitations. Neville's principle of assumption applies here as well. If you assume a state of limitation around certain people, that will reflect back to you. Ask yourself, who reflects the person I'm becoming? Who celebrates my dreams rather than doubts them? Who inspires me to take bold steps rather than settle for less? Seek out connections that feel expansive, encouraging, and aligned with your vision. This could include supportive friends who understand your goals and cheer you on. Mastermind groups of people also reinventing themselves or pursuing big dreams. Mentors who have experience in the areas you want to grow. Workshops or classes that nurture creativity, skill building, or personal development. Online communities where shared aspirations create a sense of belonging. Imagine attending a gathering where everyone is envisioning their dreams as real. The energy in the room becomes contagious. Stories of success, encouragement, and shared inspiration reinforce your own inner assumptions. This is one reason Neville suggested cultivating inner conversations carefully, but it also applies outwardly. The conversations you have with others are creative acts too. Positive, uplifting dialogue strengthens your state. Negative or doubtful dialogue weakens it. Interestingly, when you support other people's dreams, your own vision strengthens. By holding space for their imagination, you unconsciously reinforce your belief in the power of assumption. Celebrate their wins, share your experiences and techniques, encourage them to step into their new identity. Helping others isn't a distraction, it's part of your own manifestation process. Your generosity and encouragement create a positive feedback loop that expands possibilities for everyone involved. Here are some simple, actionable ways to build a midlife supportive community. Start small. Invite one friend or colleague to join you on a weekly dream sharing session. Join groups aligned with your vision. Whether it's a book club, creative circle, or online mastermind, find people exploring what you want to explore. Seek mentors. Look for someone whose life embodies what you aspire to. Ask for guidance and feedback. Give back. Offer encouragement, share insights, or mentor someone else. Generosity reinforces your own sense of capability. Attend workshops or retreats. Immersive experiences create deep connections quickly. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. A 50-year-old artist joined a local painting collective after years of creating in isolation. The encouragement and shared feedback reignited her passion and led to her first gallery show. A group of midlife entrepreneurs started meeting weekly to discuss goals, share progress, and visualize their businesses. Within a year, each had launched new ventures they had long dreamed about. A 48-year-old writer found an online community of fellow late-blooming authors. Sharing their wins, struggles, and drafts daily gave her the confidence to complete her first novel. Each of these examples demonstrates that your imagination alone is powerful, but it multiplies when you are reflected and supported by others. Think of your network as a mirror to your self-concept. If you want to fully embrace a new state, whether it's creative, healthy, prosperous, or adventurous, your outer environment should reflect that. Align your relationships with your vision, and you'll notice a natural acceleration towards your dreams. Even if you're still building your community, you can use imagination to stimulate support. Visualize a circle of supportive friends. Imagine them celebrating your wins, encouraging your efforts, and believing in your potential. Engage in positive dialogue. Speak to yourself as if your dream is already real and as if the supportive voices are echoing your belief. Reach out for connection. Text a friend, join a new group, or share your vision with someone who will cheer you on. Even, small, consistent steps create momentum, and momentum brings dreams closer to reality. Midlife transformation is not meant to be a solo journey. While your imagination is the primary engine of creation, your relationships are the mirrors and fuel that accelerate the process. Seek out connections that expand your vision, encourage your growth, and celebrate your successes. Build your tribe consciously, engage in shared imagination, and support others along the way. When your inner vision is aligned and your outer network reflects that alignment, you're unstoppable. Now that we've explored imagination, vision, community, and overcoming doubt, it's time to bring it all together into a daily practice. Neville Goddard's teachings are most powerful when applied consistently. Small, intentional habits repeated daily can transform your self-concept and your reality. Think of these rituals as a midlife mastery toolkit. You don't need to do everything at once. Choose what resonates and build momentum gradually. Start your day by anchoring yourself in the life you want. Close your eyes for 5 to 10 minutes. Imagine one key scene from your vision statement as if it's already happening. Engage all of your senses. See it, hear it, feel it. Notice the emotions it evokes and let yourself dwell in that state for a few minutes. This primes your subconscious mind and sets the tone for the day. Neville often emphasized that the state you occupy first thing in the morning tends to dominate your outer experience. Next, reinforce your vision by putting it into words. Spend 10 minutes writing in present tense about your ideal day, week, or month. Include your feelings, accomplishments, and interactions as though they are already real. Don't worry about logic or how it will happen. Focus on embodying your desired state. Scripting is like sending a daily message to your subconscious, strengthening the life you are imagining. Throughout the day, life can pull you into doubt, stress, or old habits. A midday check-in helps you reclaim your imagination. Pause for 1 to 2 minutes. Take a few deep breaths and center yourself. Recall a moment from your vision statement or a scene of success you visualized. Fully embody the feelings, confidence, joy, creativity, peace. This short practice interrupts negative patterns and reinforces your chosen state. Midday or evening, spend a few minutes affirming your new identity directly to yourself. Stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes. Speak affirmations aligned with your vision statement. I am creative and full of inspiration. I am living a fulfilling, joyful life. I am capable, confident, and thriving. Mirror work reinforces your self-concept at a deep subconscious level. Before bed, review your day and use Neville's revision technique to reshape any negative experiences. Recall a moment that didn't go well or caused discomfort. Imagine it unfolding perfectly. See yourself responding wisely, confidently, or lovingly. Replay the revised version until it feels real. Revision allows you to release old patterns and go to sleep in a state aligned with your vision. Your subconscious mind absorbs this state while you rest, reinforcing transformation. Integrate community into your daily life, even in small ways. Send a message of support to a friend or mentor. Share progress or a small victory. Engage in a conversation that encourages mutual growth. Even minimal daily interaction with supportive people amplifies the energy of your vision. Gratitude is the glue that binds all your practices together. It anchors you in abundance rather than lack. Each evening, write down 3 to 5 things that you are grateful for. Include not just external things, but also feelings, lessons, and inner growth you experienced. Gratitude rewires your mind to focus on what is already positive, making it easier for your imagined desires to manifest. Consistency matters more than duration. Even if you can only do 10 to 15 minutes a day at first, the key is to create a repeated pattern. Repetition trains your subconscious to inhabit your new identity, which in turn reshapes your external reality. As you follow these rituals, notice small changes, a thought, a conversation, a feeling of confidence, or a tiny step toward your dream. Celebrate these moments. They are evidence that your imagination is at work. Neville taught that attention fuels reality, and acknowledging progress amplifies its effects. Daily rituals are the bridge between imagination and reality. They take abstract concepts, vision, assumption, revision, and turn them into embodied habits. At midlife, when old patterns can feel deeply ingrained, these rituals will help you consciously step into the life you've been imagining. By repeating them daily, you strengthen your self-concept, dissolve resistance, and steadily bring your dreams into manifestation. Midlife is not a pause, it's a launchpad. Every lesson, every experience, every challenge has prepared you for this moment. Neville Goddard taught that your imagination creates reality. Now, with the steps we've discussed today, you have the tools, the practices, and the clarity to consciously create a life that reflects your deepest desires. Step into this chapter boldly, knowing that your imagination is limitless, your vision is valid, and your dreams are ready to manifest.